Do you like grimdark fantasy? Have you read any Mark Lawrence? Are you entertained when bad things happen to good people? To bad people? To all the people? The Red Queen's War might be for you. Hi, I'm Jim, the father of this father-son show, Fantasy for the Ages, where we talk about fantasy, science fiction, and other nerdy things that we enjoy. Today, a book blast for you, which means a spoiler-light reaction to something I've read. I'm talking about The Red Queen's War, a trilogy by Mark Lawrence. I hope you enjoy this, and if you do, be sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe, because we got lots of stuff like this coming out. All sorts of goodness. So check out our channel, and we hope you'll become one of our faithful subscribers. The Red Queen's War. This is set in the same world as Mark Lawrence's The Broken Empire Trilogy. And we get just a little overlap between these two sets of books. But mostly, this is entirely its own story and has a distinctly different tone. It's more whimsical and less grim. There's still darkness. There's definitely some magic, and there's some evil heaviness involved. That's for sure. It still fits in the category of grimdark, but it's almost grimdark adjacent. Because it just has such a lighter tone. There are characters in here that bring more of a comic quality. It's not comedy, but just their nature is so entertaining. I really enjoyed the oddities of this trilogy. We're talking 3 books here. Prince of Fools, where we meet our primary reluctant protagonist, Prince Jalen or Jal. The Liar's Key is book 2, where Jalen is pining for the comforts of old, but finds himself stuck on a quest, which is totally the opposite of what he'd prefer to be doing. Again, reluctant. And finally, book 3, The Wheel of Oshime. This is where things get even weirder. And again, we see Prince Jael torn between a desire for creature comforts, wine, women, gambling, stuff he just enjoys doing, versus doing the right thing. He refuses to believe he's a do the right thing kind of guy. Is he right? Well, again, this is a book blast, so it's spoiler-light. I'm not telling you what's going to happen in here, but I will tell you this overall story is a bit bizarre. At times, I actually found it hard to follow, to keep focused on what the heck's happening. Now, this was in part because I listened to it via audiobook. I didn't read it physically. I was listening, and there were some chapters I had to play back. I had to do that again because I'm like, I don't understand what just happened here. Something just changed. What? This is one where you really kind of need to pay attention at times, or you're going to end up lost. But I when I had to, I repeated something. It was a worthwhile read all the way through, and I'm glad I read this trilogy, totally. Big props, by the way, to author Mark Lawrence for creating the character Snorri Versnegason. Basically, Lawrence has brought Norse Vikings into this grimdark world, and Snorri is an absolute hoot. The whole Viking element is tremendously important in this trilogy and really makes this trilogy. What that brings to the story is just awesome. But Snorri, best part, hands down. A Viking among Vikings, a Viking above Vikings. I just love me some Snorri Versnegason. And way to pull off an awesome name, Mr. Lawrence. Snorri Versnegason. You just want to keep saying it. And then you're like, is that a real character's name? Really? Snorri Versnegason? Seriously? Yes. If you liked Mark Lawrence's The Broken Empire, you should definitely give this trilogy a try. It's the natural next step. But it's not just more of the same. It has its own distinctive flavor. It's just in the same ballpark. If you found the Broken Empire a little too dark, depressing, maybe a little too edgy, well, then you may find this trilogy a refreshing change of pace. Although, watch out for the Silent Sister. She's scary and nasty. I'll just leave you that with that tidbit because spoiler light. You just have to wonder, what? Silent Sister? Trust me. All right, that's all I have for you today. Again, if you have thoughts on this, I'll look down below here and leave your comments in the comment box. In the show notes, you'll find the other ways you can interact with Zach and I, social media, our Discord server. There's an invite link down there, and even our Patreon. We do have Patreon supporters. Thank you so much. Let's stick them over here. Our current Patreon supporters. We really appreciate your monthly support. You get some extra benefits out of it, but you help us cover the costs of producing this. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.